Welcome to Forge of Lore Long Rest, where we tell stories that are told about Dungeons and Dragons. Can't remember if that's the intro I had before, but that's what we're going with this time. So, we have, assuming no intro, so I'm just going to roll into it. We have a lot of episodes to get through. So I'm going to break this down into 3 sections, and we'll just talk about through each section as it goes. We're going to talk about Midgard, we're going to talk about Smedeheim, and then we're going to talk about Holdeheim, and the few in-between things that happen here and there. So, we start at Holdeheim. You guys are just got to Midgard. You have your IDs. You have settled into the halfway house, and you have done some tinkering and whatnot. So we get into this weird. The first night, you guys go out and you start to question guards and find more out about the Kelleris. The first thing that immediately happens, and that I had specifically down on notes, let me pull the notes up on this, was, oh, I know I have notes on that.
Whoops,
I guess they deleted themselves.
oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah. I was trying to think of the term that Eric used about the homeless people.
Oh, outdoor
Something
angels.
Outdoor angels.
Yeah,
That sounds like
I
something
hated
Eric's
that.
mom would say.
Oh my
I
god!
hated that.
Eat that mic, Josh.
That sounds like something Eric's mom would say, honestly. And that's not just a mom joke. I know Eric's mom.
Yeah, she has some colorful opinions.
Josh, I don't know if your lighting is weird. We got this like dark shading coming up from under you
When you move a
sometimes.
certain way on, yeah.
But
I see it. Give me a minute.
Josh, Cedric, and Marcus was with Gendry when he was interrogating or questioning this homeless person. Do you guys remember that situation and have any insight onto what your alternative intentions were?
Not even in the slightest.
What happened to the homeless man? Can you rehash? Give me a
You
recap.
were asking him questions about the Kelleris. Marcus gave him some coin to refresh his memory.
And didn't he steal it from the old?
And then
homeless
Gendry
guy?
stole it from him. This was an episode where Marcus was saying, well, I thought the idea was just to kill him and take the gold back. And they got real dark and real weird for a second.
Okay.
And I would say that probably this starts the dark arc of Midgard, between the guard you guys killed in the alleyway, this, and
We
then
didn't
what
kill the
didn't
guard in
kill
our
him.
alleyway. We
They
didn't
just
kill him.
beat the shit out of him.
yeah.
Humiliated and beat the crap out of.
I would like to point out that I was not there for that part.
No, you were just on the
Pee
rooftop.
on him!
Pee on him.
on him!
I did yell that. Yes, that is true. I won't deny that.
So, along with finding out whatever you guys found about the Kelleris, who eventually found you, they came and tried to assassinate you in the room. What did you guys think of the tight quarter map and the surprise attack? Were you guys expecting anything to happen that night? That high up in a hotel?
I wasn't
Not really,
necessarily.
Like
actually.
that for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but I really did like the close quarters combat. It presented its own challenges.
All right. Yeah, as players, this was
I didn't like that I didn't have my armor on.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
This was the first time that I think all of you had seen anything like for Gendry's face.
Yep. That was the first time we got to see his actual. Aww. Josh got
Look at
flowers.
this.
Oh,
For a good performance.
Wow.
Oh my
Hey,
god!
and
Oh my god.
balloons.
Oh my god.
Happy stream
You're muted.
anniversary!
You're muted.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that
I
is
like
the
flowers.
cutest thing.
Is this because of the
Nice.
pasties?
Is this because of the pasties?
This is for your
Streamiversary? Oh, you are so
Present from the
sweet.
stream anniversary.
I
We
got
record this on the stream
cards.
anniversary. Check us out
Sweetheart.
twitch.tv/Forge of Lore. You got a card?
Oh, she got it framed.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Was that say second?
Slut!
the stream anniversary is cut off.
Yes, it says second streamiversary.
Oh my god.
My God!
Wow.
Steve, why didn't you do anything like this for me? What the fuck?
Yes, Steve. You're really slacking here.
Like Steve,
Suck
it, nerd.
I don't even.
This is Steve meat frying pan.
Oh my god. What the hell?
Hold on, I'm gonna
What is it with everyone showing me up?
show my girlfriend some love. Carry on. I'll be right back.
Okay, calm down. What
Not
the
that
fuck?
kind, not
Okay,
gross.
yeah.
30
Gross.
seconds.
Make sure you mute
Tops.
yourself.
Are we leaving that
Oh
in?
my god! No, we can cut that out. That is fucking adorable. That is so funny.
Wow.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
If you want Tyler, you can move on. It's just
Yeah.
similar
can-
questions, I guess. I don't know how long he's gonna be.
He's not gonna be
So-
that long.
Wow, that
The
is
tight-
really rude. Sorry.
The tight area of the map for that encounter, did it propose any challenges?
Oh, for sure. First of all, the fact that none of us had our armor on, which I'm pretty sure Sideric didn't have armor to begin with, but that kind of sucked. But then also, like, you had to be really wary of area of effect spells, because if you cast something big in that space, everybody's gonna get hit. So, yeah.
Like Herm.
Mm-hmm. Poor Herm.
Mhm.
Yep.
Poor Herm.
Oscar did fuck Herm over a little bit, a lot bit. He definitely got melted. Poor guy.
And then for everyone else who didn't know, Gendry's face.
Yeah.
What kind of a shock was that?
I think we had gotten some sort of, like, we did get a hint of it, like the players did, at the Colburn estate. He got fucked up really bad in that battle, and his mask was all fucked up. And he described, like, the eye and mouth, I think, like the side of the face. So, like, the players kind of knew something was up, but the characters, definitely, that was our first actual being able to see that part of him. Freaked Nifrim out a little bit.
Sam, does Marcus have an opinion about it?
No. I mean,
No?
he kind of just assumed that there was something wrong with him because he kept messing with his face and stuff.
Sure.
Also, he's a veteran of like 80 years of combat. Like, not the worst thing he's ever seen.
But I mean, like, your character has known him as specific way this whole time, like, as Gendry, like, that face, that wouldn't have been like a, moment. You don't think?
No, he knew there was something wrong with him.
Oh,
Right
Now
on.
listen, Sam was surprised once in his life, okay?
He doesn't
And he
get
hates
surprised after that.
surprises.
I know Eric well enough to know that he was going to do something weird. I just didn't know exactly what. And then, you know, that a little bit bled into my character, but it's also he's perceptive enough to notice that, you know, something's wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And then when
moving
he
on
saw it, he's like, whatever.
yeah. Moving on from that night, you guys got to experience the Specky Library. where this thing is massive. Not only is the lore of the Specky library massive, Steve's Talespire map, which we've only seen like once or twice when we were actually getting in and going through it, because I'm sure it eats up way too much resources for him.
Yeah, it really chokes the server.
It is massive. It is filled out, filled in. I mean, it is complete. Not only do I know that had to take up a whole lot of time, but how excited were you, Steve, to build that particular map?
Well, it was about like probably 4 months of intermittent work. Most of which it was the primary thing I was working on. It took a long time. Probably longer than Naglfar. I don't know. But I was super excited. I wanted the library to be a big, extravagant kind of holy crap moment. And I like to think I got that. It was, it's like the central place of information for the world. So I wanted it to be just massive and mind-boggling and like almost a city of its own. And I like how it turned out. And I really liked, I think my favorite part was the names that Ailston gave you guys for the library with your passes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was one of them? Like Dixie Normus or some shit?
No. Willie Dance.
Willie Dance.
I actually have the names somewhere.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah, they were pretty funny.
Dick Shiner.
Yeah, Dick Shiner.
Yep.
Yeah, I got them somewhere.
Oh,
I need a dump.
I need a dump.
I need
Yep.
a dump for sure.
Peter Pan's. That's
Wow,
the other
look
one.
at OG fucking nailing it. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's
You watched the
just on the
shorts.
notes, the
Okay,
shorts.
yeah.
Yeah. For the players, did you get what you were expecting to get out of the library, or do you have more and new things to try to look for if you were to go back, or to have
Oscar.
look things up?
Yeah.
Because that's a resource I don't think anyone's really dove into, is having him do search for you guys.
Well,
The
a lot
man
of
in the chair.
times I
To be fair,
forget.
it's only been a couple days.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that that's a thing that we can do. And every week we come back, I'm like, at the end, I'm like, shit, I forgot I could have asked Oscar to look something up. I don't know. I feel like there's so many subjects to look into that it's hard to know which one. But possibly for Nifrim, the tunnels. She wants to look more into the tunnels and like the history of those, because
How can you look into the tunnels when you're in the tunnels?
oh my god. She from hearing or finding out that the Emir possibly came from below ground, she's kind of, her ideas or her interests are piqued at the thought that maybe these tunnel systems are connected in some way. And maybe are there more around Thorin? Like, you know, it'd be interesting.
Could be. That could be not the only tunnel set out there. The beef liquor. How did you
liquor.
guys?
Laker.
Steve, it's
Beef
Laker.
Beef Laker.
Like the football team or whatever
Sam,
the fuck they are.
specifically. What, football team?
Yeah, the Lakers.
You guys saying it, then arguing over it makes it all the better.
Sam, the giggle, did that start off as a bit, or did you just start giggling and then it just turned into a bit?
No, that they genuinely find it entertaining.
Oh, so it's not a bit at all. You are just literally giggling. It's like Ted Mosby and the Naked Lady.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. We gotta get a supercut of that shit.
The Beef Laker. So how did you guys...
I'm gonna mute myself.
You were shown it, and you guys went there. You witnessed it. as players, your characters, what was running through your characters' minds as far as witnessing that for the first time? I'm sure this was unlike anything you guys have ever witnessed before. So was this like a out-of-body experience? Was this kind of just par for the course at the moment?
Can I go?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Cedric just thought he was teleported. Even though he was told not to be alarmed, he thought he was somewhere else, which is why he ran forward and hit his head.
I love that. I think Nifrim was just along for the ride. She was like, okay, so this is something that's been done before. They've experienced this, and she just fully trusted, oh my god, I'm blanking on her name, Yorlog, and her experience that it was going to be fine.
Marcus has seen illusionary magic before, so he was just like, okay, this is a little weird, but, not new.
Steve, refresh my memory. Which god was it that came and visited them while they were there? Was that Baldur?
We went and called Odin.
Yeah, I called Odin. That's right.
You called Odin, but a different god came and visited you. And showed you a different vision.
You were gonna do two gods, but it didn't make the DC on the. I can't remember.
I'm not talking about when you guys went through there. You went up into the hole. You chatted with Odin up there.
Mm-hmm.
The second time, I think you came back. You saw more things, and then you had someone show you the past.
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find
there were the
that
gods
on your
in
notes
the
here.
past. There was the so the case episodes where Viv was right. Yeah. Let me. I don't know.
Heimdall appeared for Cedric and gave him more powers with Hofud, which go fuck yourself, I guess.
Yeah, the blind sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then also there was something else, I think. Maybe it was just blind sense.
And then after we found out about the failsafe, Heimdall showed up to give us coordinates, but we haven't had a god show up and show us the past. Are you thinking of
I know what you're thinking of.
The
Heimdall. You were thinking of Heimdall. It was at the same time about when I believe it was the same time he told you about the coordinates. It was when Cedric was getting upset about being a tool, and so Heimdall showed you an image of people dying on the battlefield, and he said it was real time.
Yeah, so we went through a process with that where you guys thought it was the past because I think you guys were still in the Beeflaker.
I think so.
So you guys thought it was another video of a recording from the past, and then he witnessed to you guys that it was real time. This was a real battle that was going on.
I don't know if everybody else did, but I definitely did.
As a viewer, when I watched that, I was under the impression that this was another simulated vid recording.
Now that was him getting pissy.
And it was until then when he goes, this is real time. You guys are wasting precious moments here. And I thought that was a good representation and probably a precursor onto what the AIs were, because you just went from a tech simulation giving you video to him simulating that tech video to put you guys somewhere else in this real time.
Yep. That was intentional.
Okay.
It was meant to feel like the Beeflaker. Oh, okay.
God damn it, Sam.
So it was meant to feel like it, so that it was kind of a hint, super subtle hint.
Cool.
This was also where we saw our first vision of Minnie with the Emir. And they sent her off to do her job, and they all fucking died.
Yeah, that was your first viewing of what actually wiped out the Emir and the creation of many.
Mm-hmm.
There were all the recordings. We can quickly. So there was the one that was the father and daughter time where they were talking about the ring. There was The Devastator, which was a propaganda film about the Jotun. The mini creation story. Thor and the Dragon, where the dragon attacked the platoon and they called in Thor. Makes a little more sense now, huh? And then when the Hothering one, where they completed the construction of the Hothering and talked about the Sather field and such.
So, with that all in mind, do you guys want to have a Hothering discussion? What are your thoughts on what's currently going on? Is there any hope for the Hothering? And do you think we'll get it anytime soon?
I don't know if we'll get it soon, but I think that if we can get to the North Polar facility, I think there is hope to save the Hothering. I have no idea how, but that's Nifrim's plan. She is trying her damnedest to get to that North Polar facility and to fix the ring.
Yeah.
Does anyone think, personally, now that I'm in as Gunny, the things that I've seen, I almost feel like each dungeon has had its feel of this dungeon had its purpose, this dungeon had its, or facility, Emir facility had a purpose.
For sure.
Emir facility had a purpose. It'll be interesting to see what Holdheim's facility, dungeon, what its purpose was. But for something as critical as the Hothering, I can't imagine a singular dungeon or facility being the only place for that. I mean,
well,
I'd think that they'd have to be a failsafe as far as backup for that, and maybe there is a facility for backups. Maybe there's a colo somewhere that has backups of all the data from each and every other facility. So
absolutely. If you're any sort of good IT company, you're going to have redundancy and backups.
And honestly, if you think about it, the North Polar facility is a great candidate for that, because if you're on Thorin and you know that the Hothering could fail, that central pivot point is going to be the last thing to fail. You know what I mean? Like it's protected from the sun as the ring continues to shrink or whatever.
Now, I've mentioned this to Steve and Emmy. I'm not sure if I brought it up on the long rest before, but I had this theory that the Hothering can provide shade, but on the far end, or so the southern polar, where it should be frozen because it never sees the sun, if you would almost get a reflection from the Hothering warming up a section down there, creating a Goldilocks zone on the southern polar end too. So I think that's
possible.
That might be more attainable to reach, because at that point you're just worrying about warmth.
I mean, when you get to sub-zero
burning
temps, that's just as dangerous as the heat of the desert. So I don't think there's an easy way to get to either one of those poles.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna suck either way.
Sub-zero temps just means it's cold on the surface, but the deeper in you go, the deeper down into the closer to the core of the planet.
That would be argued for the same as the northern.
Assuming that there is molten core. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a little warmer, but not much unless there's not a molten core.
Yeah.
Does Thorin have one?
Shrug. I would say since it doesn't rotate correctly.
But also, imagine if they have a radiant capacitor, they can have energy for heat. And if you're lower down into the earth, you're not going to be subjected to the environmentals. So that heat will just generate and stay in the space that you have in.
Oh, I just meant like literally traveling on the surface to the South Polar
Yeah,
facility.
because currently we don't have a means of traveling underground unless there's already a pre-made tunnel.
Tunnels set up. Yeah, I have a feeling there's
a spell called dig.
What'd you call me?
Nothing.
I don't think there is a spell called dig.
I think that's Pathfinder. Fucking
Yeah.
Pathfinder.
So while at the Specky Library, Marcus learned how to repair armor. Cedric learned how to play a piccolo. I know Marcus has here and there practiced his skill since leaving Midgard. I don't think Cedric has touched his piccolo too much.
I played it when I was teaching the bard the song Fine Ass Hertha.
Oh, that is right. You did play it there.
I'm not the best at it. I'm still practicing. The other thing that, if you remember correctly, I can use that piccolo to train dogs.
Yep.
And we just haven't ran across any dogs.
No.
Nope.
And I've asked, if you've noticed, I have asked for dogs in several towns.
Are there any dogs around?
God,
kidding.
jeez. How many animals do you want? Josh, send her up in your frame. You're
Also,
leaving us.
the other thing I can do. The other thing that I can do is that compendium of like animals. It just started off with a parts list, and I believe we enhanced that as well.
Yeah, just general about creatures and what's valuable on them. I figured it'd have basic shit in there.
I was very useless at the Specky Library. I just did everything, just hobbies. Like, what does Cedric want to do today? Okay, it might be different tomorrow.
That was also where
Knitting. I'm
that was
so
also
fucking
where
angry.
Gendry learned about his kind of
His
history.
past, yeah.
His name? Because he learned his
And what
name
he
from
did.
his flashback, and he learned who that person was.
Yeah. Speaking of his flashback, I believe, was that a headphones off situation?
Yes.
Steve, do you have any more headphone off situations planned?
Probably not. It depends if anyone goes off on their own. Gendry was the only one that had kind of natural, random, headphones off moments because they were flashbacks. But beyond
Flash.
those, it would just be like if you have a private conversation with a secret. I mean, I don't foresee any, but I haven't written anything past many. So no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the headphones off moments yesterday. I was like, man, that was good times. Like, I don't know how you would employ that now unless there was like a dream or something, like, but for the most part, the party's very open with each other.
By the way,
Yeah,
I
it
now
could be-
give you all official permission to go back and watch those on YouTube. I mean,
I
it's
totally
not a
will,
secret.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, Josh has never seen the show.
Absolutely believable. Absolutely
And
believable.
I know Sam already did.
Nat 20 on deception, you guys believe me.
Yeah. And I actually do watch the show, so as soon as the episode came up, I was like,
You
Sam's
bastard. You bastard.
So, one of the things that you wanted to do while you were there at Midgard, you sought out the Silence Fate, and you kicked some Kelris ass. First, you guys met with this fate. You had a meeting at the docks where you took care of some business. And then, you guys ended up going after the Kelris almost immediately to hit him back at home. The docks went flawlessly with help of a smoke poison bomb
Yup.
that just put everyone to sleep.
That was
We've
impressive.
It
all
was
seen
so-
we've all seen the clip for that, and that is outrageous how well
It was
that worked.
so funny
Fuck yeah.
because he threw the bomb and Steve's doing his rolls and everybody else is talking and I was sitting there like, wait, what? And he's like, that one fails. That one fails. He goes down. And I was like, are you guys seeing this shit? What the fuck is happening? We're gonna win! Like,
Immediately.
it was so crazy.
Gorgeous.
And then all we had to do was walk down there and toss them in the water.
Yep.
Kick 'em.
One of the things at the docks that you guys did find out was the ability for the Kelris to see through disguises or spells.
With that device.
You ended up giving that device to the Sfate.
To Wiesel.
Do you think anyone else of the Kelris has that kind of technology, or do you think that was local to just them?
Oh, that's a good question. Because, I mean, Tier Tower kind of got fucked, but that doesn't mean other places that are involved with the Kelris don't also have that technology. It's very possible.
Yeah. Viv, you're right. That is also where you got your first Aesir intervention.
From Indie Geek.
Yeah, I was sick.
He called forth,
Vidar.
oh my god,
You
what's
got a
his name?
silent.
Vidar.
Vidar.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
the next one, I think
So
Viv
you didn't break
called-
stealth. Yeah.
For Thor.
Yeah.
Yes, Viv called Thor on the next episode.
It's fun.
That was awesome.
Which was very nice.
Yes.
Thank you, Viv.
Now, when you guys did go to take care of the Kelris in the tower, you all flew up there. Steve, what were they going to encounter if they had walked in the front door?
So, the front door was essentially, inspired by the Matrix lobby. There were going to be pillars and a bunch of guys. I think there were about 4 or 5 enemies in there. And they had a panic button in the back. And if you let them hit that, more would have shown up from upstairs. Instead, the opposite happened. They came upstairs when you started up there. But yeah, it was basically going to be another fight down there with an
did
elevator
you really
up.
not expect us to fly?
I figured you could go either way. I prepared for either one.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if you'd think of flying or figure out how to fly everyone. So I set up for either eventuality.
And Marcus got to superhero fly.
Yeah,
He did.
that's pretty cool.
He got to feel like Thor.
It was the happiest moment of his life after
I have
his
a
children's
question
births.
about that whole situation in the building.
Yeah.
For Steve. Did you actually plan? You had planned our like quick time event scene, right?
Yeah. The
Did you
exit.
expect that to go down exactly how it went down? What were you thinking?
I mean, pretty much. I figured you guys would get out. And I thought it was pretty much going to go how it did, which is, some boots, some feather fall or whatever it was. I forget how
Fly.
exactly you did. Fly, yeah.
It was Oscar at the window.
Yeah, Oscar, right. I figured, and then someone carrying Oscar or something. I figured it would probably end that way, but I definitely wanted to put the crunch on you as far as figuring out a plan. I kind of
loved that.
love the idea of only getting 60 seconds to plan before we start initiative. Like a 1-round initiative. Because that's how
That
it
was
would be.
fun.
It'd be like you'd literally have a split second, not even 6 seconds, to be like, what are we gonna do? Let's go out that window and then I'll cast fly and then
Right.
you do that. Okay, go. So I
What
thought
did
it'd
you
be fun.
plan if we failed?
Death?
Ouch.
I don't know.
Oh,
Depends.
party
TPK.
wipe.
Like,
Lots of damage.
if someone didn't make it out, that building fucking exploded. It probably would have been death.
Well, I'm
yeah,
glad
I don't
we
think
made it
there's
out.
anything salvageable out of that
I
building
figured-
once that happened.
I figured if all else
even
failed,
the
you would
beams.
just jump out and then kind of fall like really far or whatever, or hit another building or something. Maybe die, maybe not. But
Can you imagine
yeah,
if
it's-
any
it's
of us
probably
had
gonna be
rolled
dead.
in
Cedric
that
could be
one?
fine.
Oh, it would have been crazy.
Cedric would take a pan of those baked beans and he would slide it down the exploding building like a slip and slide. Fucking sexy as hell.
Okay, now I want to redo that scene.
Yeah, let's go back. Back to one.
Wow.
Back to 1.
While Freebird plays in the distance.
That's how it happened. That's how it's always happened.
Yep, that's canon.
That's what I remember.
That's the story I'm going to tell.
Your children.
Yep.
I never watched the show, but this is how it happened.
Me and Bodel were there. Bodel was there for some reason.
Yeah.
We were both sliding down it.
Oh my god.
So you guys, was this which Kelris was this? Was this
Durlar.
That was
Dorilar? This was Dorilar.
Uncle Durlar.
You guys took Dorilar. You took him onto a roof, and you questioned him.
Yeah, we inquisited him.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got the answers you wanted. You have some questions that you didn't know you had.
Like him saying
And
she'll
then-
never learn that you're alive.
Yeah.
What
So
the dick.
Marcus, did you know what he meant? Or was that just an open question?
Kind of had an idea. Like, I obviously knew, but Marcus was like, there's really only one person he could be talking about, because everybody else, like, it could be talking about his wife because his wife died in his arms. Couldn't be talking about his daughter because he saw that happen. The only woman that, he never physically saw die was his mother. So, like, she would be the only person who it could have been.
Okay. So, following that was a scene that immediately got some reactions from everybody. This is the Gendry ripping the face off of Durlar.
Oof.
You all had some pretty strong reactions to that. How much of that was character reaction versus player reaction?
Well, for Nifrim, she was pretty horrified. She had kind of a sneaking suspicion he was doing stuff to get the faces, but she was also like, maybe he's just making them? Me, as a player, I was like, okay, that's pretty fucked up. I don't like it.
As a player, I was like, yeah, this tracks. I mean, I knew where Eric was going, so I was like, yeah, not that all that surprising. And as Marcus, he's like, man, I've seen people keep trophies before. It's a little weird, but it's not new.
Faces? Bro!
Well, no, like, I imagine, like, at least somebody that he has seen in the past, like, cut off fingers to keep, or, like, maybe
Sure,
took an
keep
ear, or...
Sure, but like a face?
Well, that's what I said, like, it's a little much, but, yeah.
I mean, to each
He's
their
not like,
own,
this
right?
isn't the first time I've seen some, like, this isn't new behavior, because he just kind of always assumed that he was taking the faces when nobody was looking. But,
So, I've got a question for Josh. After seeing this and then having Gendry's face left there that Cedric has repeatedly worn, has it ever crossed your thought that that might have been someone else's true face that you are now parading every once in a while?
Josh, yes. Cedric, nah. I mean, he should, right? Like, he should. But he was more concerned about possible cannibalism than, like, the actual face killing.
A food analogy at this moment was probably the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Check our shorts. I will say that was someone's face.
I mean, I kind
Really?
of figured. Who else would it be? It wasn't him. His face got completely...
Yep.
He couldn't salvage his own face.
Didn't even look like his old face. That was someone's face.
What the fuck? You've never told me that. Exclusive.
Did you ever ask?
I don't know. Probably not.
No, not since the Gendry ended,
Wow.
or he left.
Yeah.
So that brings up the next point. You got your answers from Durlar. You went back to this fate. You gave them the answers that you found. And then one day you woke up and Gendry was no longer around.
Nifrim wasn't surprised.
Nifrim wasn't surprised. Yeah. But did anyone have any strong feelings, the characters,
Yeah.
on being abandoned? They just walked away. Did anyone have any feelings of maybe he's watching us? Maybe he's never that far away?
I don't think Nifrim feels he's following. I think she definitely expected him, or that to be a possibility, that he'd eventually just leave. But she always hoped that he would choose them, I guess. And since he didn't, that has caused a lot of issues that are still playing out in the story for her.
Okay.
Nah, Marcus was like, Marcus was very understanding, like, because he's said it multiple times. He's like, yeah, I'll leave or whatever. I don't care about you guys. And he's like, yeah, whatever. He was gonna, leave at some point, or something was gonna happen to him. And, there were also a couple times where he thought about killing Gendry, so it wasn't really all that big of a loss, so.
Well, the term cannon fodder has left your lips a couple times in regards to many of the players. Does Marcus still feel that way as far as cannon fodder?
To be clear, he doesn't see them as cannon fodder. He just sees them as if it's a necessary sacrifice, he is willing to do it, because he is a soldier, and he has also led people in battle while he was part of that mercenary company, and he has sent people to their deaths that he knew for years, and just was like, it's got to happen. So if it's got to happen, it's got to happen, and if they die, like, he'll feel bad about it, but he's not gonna be like, crushed. He still moves on even after his wife and children are dead. Like,
yeah, he's used to people
him,
he likes dying.
Yeah.
Old news.
It sucks.
So
but,
you would say you wouldn't
going.
be surprised
Nope.
if that happened then?
No.
All right.
But you would think with all of that loss in his past, that when he finds people that he connects with, he would cling to that even more.
No, he likes all of them, and he will cling to them and try to keep them alive as best as possible. But, he's not gonna, be like, oh man, like, this person has to die for insert a reason. He'll be like, that sucks, but you go ahead.
Oh, jeez.
You got this.
Marcus don't feel
He
around.
also just expects that at some point one of you may die anyways, just because of the dangers of what
What
they're
we're doing. Yeah.
You'll probably die.
Yeah.
What about you,
And
Josh?
Marcus
with
also
the-
just genuinely, his end goal is to die.
With Gendry leaving, how do you think that affected Cedric?
I was sad because I feel like we were just starting to get into our bond. Like, we had just done that whole thing with the guard. We actually got some positive information. Took forever, but we were finally bonding and not clashing against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then he left. And I was left alone. But now I have Tyler and Gunny.
Yeah.
Best friends forever.
Getting there.
Getting there. I mean,
Yeah, he's kind of weird. I don't know about that one.
time will tell.
We need to get past awkward bath encounters, and then we'll be good.
Yeah.
Fair.
See, what you gotta do is get some bath salts and
Oh my
then
God.
go into the
Smoke
bath
Not with
together.
that. Nope.
Nope.
Okay, moving on.
No.
Think
So
Florida.
you guys wrapped up what you had there in Midgard. You found out that you need to go to Smithaheim because that's where Endvari Tierson was. You knew Holdaheim was another location you needed to go to. You all headed to Smithaheim via teleportation to get down there, talk to Andvari, and try to see what he knew. You guys teleport in and immediately meet Gunny. Not knowing at the time that was Gunny. You guys try sneaking out of the building just to get the doors to trigger, and then you act like you're walking in.
Pretty successfully, too.
We did.
Yep. I believe in that time, Steve was having me roll perception checks
Behind
off
the
screen
scenes.
just to see if I noticed you guys come in, noticed any noises or anything.
And you rolled
Hilarious.
trash. I think it was like a 7.
That was the start. That was
True
the
to
start
form.
of my horrible rolling.
You bought more
It-
dice and none of them were good.
And none of them went any better. Meeting with Gunny, what were your guys' first impressions as far as the character?
Nifrim was intrigued. Techie?
Seems
Come
like a
on.
bitch that lets everybody walk all over him.
Wow.
Accurate.
Jesus!
I mean, truth, but harsh.
What the fuck? I thought he just seemed like a really nice guy.
So my
Yeah, he
first
seems like a
impression
nice
was,
guy, and he was also like, "Oh, I'm on toilet duty," and Marcus is like, "Yeah, that's what we do for the newbies in the mercenary band. Make them dig the shit trenches."
But at that point, I wasn't the newbie.
That made it even worse.
Well, okay, so my perception was that Gunny was kind of like just a merchant, but like the fact that we were able to sneak in, my first impression was not a very good merchant. Like I could just take all of his shit and he wouldn't even notice.
Wow.
And if it was just me
Wow.
in there, like it wasn't a team thing, I definitely probably would have been like, ooh, camera, and just like
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. But then things progressed.
Emmy, how about yours? And then I've got a question.
Oh, I thought he was an interesting person and definitely was curious about his errands. Like I was watching him like a hawk to see what he was up to. Kind of suspicious that he was gonna try to fuck us over. But she also saw him as an in to get to Andvari, and she was gonna do or say whatever it took to get there.
Same.
So, we kind of discussed this before, but as an official answer, Tyler, how did it feel for you being converted from a fan of the show and someone that watches it regularly because you're a fucking legend to someone that's actually on it?
It was an interesting transition. I've said this a couple times, but as watching the show and previously meeting everybody and either playing on a campaign with everybody or knowing everyone in person, either different people in person, watching the show, I was like, you could do this or this or this. Like I could think off the top of my head, hey, why don't you do this instead? Why don't you do that instead? And I was almost talking to the show as if they could hear me, because it was almost like this was our normal way of
It was like you're part of the game.
last campaign. Yeah, the last campaign that I was on with you guys. And as soon as I became a cast, I was on the cast and I started playing, it was almost as if I went dumb.
It's different,
I couldn't
right?
think. I couldn't think fast enough, like I could when I was just watching the show, because it felt like more were on the line. More stakes were on the line.
When you're in the action, it feels more urgent and you start panicking and don't think straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that.
Be like Sideric. Don't panic. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
I'm sneaking.
Yeah.
I'm sneaking.
Or be like Marcus and just hit it with stuff.
Gonna bonk.
What was your impression
Or try to
of
sleep with it.
the party, Gunny?
Bonk's gonna bonk.
What was Gunny's impression?
See, now that's a tricky answer now that it's been a while since that happened, and trying to separate me from Gunny on that. I would have to say originally, you guys just walking in, presumably through the front door, you had questions and you wanted to talk to Andvari. I thought you were just another tinkerer group, more or less, that was here to have something worked on or looking for guidance. it wasn't until I found out more about what you knew of Andvari that really started me questioning what I knew. And there were enough truths told, stories told, that countered Gunny's, what would have been Gunny's life experiences, to be like, yeah, this guy isn't quite right. This guy isn't all there. And that's why I immediately bought into stock on what you were saying, is because the behavior that he had towards me, what I endured, what I saw him do towards other people, and so on. I think that's what allowed Gunny to almost turn tails on him, like just immediately turn, because you wouldn't think that somebody who was under that kind of a power for that long wouldn't just be brainwashed into saying, this is the only way, this is the guy, this is what I know. You all had the right answers when you came in, so there almost was no question into what Andvari was doing, especially after he was questioned. So right. You all got there, we all met. I took you around town gathering some things while we were waiting for Andvari to come up. And then we went and met with Andvari. You guys had some questions for him. Minnie showed up. How do you guys think that interaction went, the questioning? Was there anything different that could have been done?
I think it went about as well as it could have gone.
I'm sorry, the questioning with Minnie?
With Andvari.
Oh, okay.
Like, how did the interaction go?
He sucked.
He's a bitch.
I felt like you were talking
even
about like
the
a brick
damn
wall.
thing, even though he smashed his fingers to pieces.
Yeah.
It's quite irritating.
I mean, even his thumbnail was irritating.
The poor creator, Bouncy Rock, creators of Talespire. That is a default mini in Talespire.
Yup.
I'm sorry. It was probably like dwarf or someone. Sorry.
I mean, my Andvari was in the Shadows of the Silver Screen too.
It doesn't help
The
that
characters I threw in there.
it doesn't help that we already had him in our heads as a bitch. So
after the story's gonna give, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He treated us like we were small.
Very. He sucked.
Like I knew we weren't gonna get anywhere with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, he already knew you from what Minnie has said, so he had a predetermined. He had a predetermined vision of what you guys were.
And we kind of had the same.
Yeah. He does deserve what he got. I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad that I joined.
We are too.
I contemplate on a couple times whether or not we went the right direction on ending him or trying to get out of there peacefully, because we had a full-on walkout. Now, with that said, Steve, we did have a full-on walkout. Did we actually have a chance to walk out of there?
There was a possibility of you not killing him and still getting the info, because basically Andvari stood between you and evidence of the Jotunfoder incident. You could have, like, snuck in his office, gone through his things, stolen his shit, and gotten the fuck out.
But at
you
the
could have
end
done
of the
something
day,
else. You could have... It was possible you could have talked with him and said just the right things, but that would probably be the most difficult.
But at the end of the day, he's still essentially an active Munithir general.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
he's a bad guy. He should probably die for his sins, but, you know.
Or like
wasn't
some
the
sort
only
of
option.
punishment. Like maybe not necessarily death was always the only option, but like like capturing him, but then who was gonna fucking believe us yet, you know?
Yeah.
Also, transporting him around as a captive while we try to find somebody to, have him, like, interrogated would have been a pain.
I mean, that's another thing. You could have gotten the evidence and then had him arrested, turned him in.
Meh.
There's multiple ways, but violence
know
isn't always
who's
the
like-
answer, but maybe it's the most appropriate.
I agree, Josh.
I mean, like, But he was a bitch.
He was a bitch.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I
Bitches get-
expected you to
bitches get
kill him,
stitches.
and I'm happy. That was a fun fight.
It was. It was awesome. I loved
Dude.
that he was like this Veraldersmither guy, and he's all techie and shit, and his tech kept fucking breaking down. I was like,
Yeah.
So, Steve,
Actually-
did his tech quit breaking down because it was poorly put together, or were you rolling like trash?
I was rolling like trash. Yeah.
So that Gundam suit, was it meant to break down?
Oh, that was meant to
or-
break down. That was,
Okay.
I thought that would be funny. I found that mini when browsing the community, and I was like, dude, that looks menacing as fuck. It would be funny if it showed up and they're like, holy fuck, and then it just exploded or something.
I loved that.
I forced that roll. It
Nice.
didn't roll a 1. I
It's
just forced
Cedric
it.
crawling through
That'd
the
be
fucking
fun.
doorways as a twice enlarged dude.
Dude, that's when my perception of Gunny changed. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh, you can make me bigger.
Double huge.
Double prizes.
Yeah, DMs never be
So-
afraid to fudge numbers for a good story. It made for a fun moment of the robot breaking.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't feel
So
like
we
making a
got
stat
the
block.
we
I'd
got
agree
the
with that.
information we needed. We got the Jotunfoder evidence, and then we took that back to the king. When we met with the king my first time, your guys' second time at that location, and we went and met with him. Do you think he actually believed you?
I think
As far as the info, the his attitude towards it.
by
and
the end of the
everything.
conversation, the way Steve described Tulloch, I was like, oh, this dude is like, not only did he believe them, but he was also like, shit.
What have I done?
Yeah, like he really stepped in it. And
Also,
he knew
he's like, I was manipulated. How do you think Tulloch felt about being manipulated? Especially into his men dying.
it. Probably not
Yeah.
good. Probably not very good at all.
That's embarrassing
Mm-hmm.
and guiltful.
Yeah.
I
And
do
that
have to
stupid
say-
owl.
That fucking owl.
I found it interesting that we offered to take the evidence to Holdeheim to parlay with the king on Toloch's behalf and show him the evidence. He was like, nope, I'll handle this. I've got this. I don't need you guys doing it. Only to be requested to be there and meet with them.
to be fair, he hadn't had a chance to like confer with his advisors and like kind
Yeah.
of figure out the best option of what to do or what Athelstan would have wanted or went for. So he probably was just like, I'm gonna take care of this. And then when he realized, sorry, go ahead, Steve.
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, basically, Tulloch, he doesn't really know you. Like, he barely trusts you, although you have evidence. He needs to verify that evidence. Also, he's likes to be in control. So he's like, I'm not gonna let the fate of our continents be in your guys' hands. I need to be in control of that. I am the king. That is my job. So basically, kind of behind the scenes, what happened was he wanted to verify and then act on it himself. And then when he talked to Athelstan, basically Athelstan was like, bring proof, including witnesses. And so he's like, okay, I'll bring the fucking Jotun Slayers.
That's a good question, Josh, in chat there.
I wonder how Tyler would have adapted his role playing if Gendry was still in the picture. Would we have the same Gunny? Ooh, yeah.
I would say yeah, mainly because I'm learning role playing like on the fly. I don't think there'd been too many ways this could have went where I turned into a different Gunny off the start.
I mean, Gunny's
As
just
far as
Tyler.
where we are now, That's hard to say. We're quite a few episodes into me being part of the campaign, so
Yeah.
we're a good 7 months into
Jesus.
me joining on.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's been like, what, a week?
Episode 75.
I have
Game.
another question in line with that. If you guys want
Go
to
ahead.
Yeah.
So from each of you, from the very beginning 2 years ago to now, how do you feel like you've developed your skills? So Steve, that'd be your DMing. Us, that'd be our role playing. Do you guys feel like they improved, and what aspects do you feel like they've improved?
I mean, I'll start as
questions.
DM. It definitely has grown a lot. Before this show, I really only DM'd Emmy. I DM'd you guys, most of you guys, in a kind of one session, one shot kind of off shot.
Dream sequence.
Yeah, essentially, well, was it? A dream sequence to give Eric a break when he was DMing our home game. But that was like super silly, single fight, whatever. But other than that, I had only DM'd Emmy. And it was fucking intimidating, but at the same time, it just... I definitely have gotten better about lack of preparation, meaning like I used to write a whole lot of the lines. And I'm
glad
now
you don't anymore.
wing a lot. I have the certain points, but like for example, the king meeting later on, I'd written about a few lines that each would say, and that's it. Like specific points I wanted them to make, and that's about it. And wing the rest, and it's definitely about getting comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Winging it is a lot of fun.
It really is.
I think as a player, I've improved in a lot of ways when it comes to trying to figure out the role-playing aspect, because like Tyler said, you're learning role-playing on the fly. I feel the same. Like I don't feel like I knew what the hell I was doing coming in, but I feel like I know my character a lot better. But the improvements aside from that as a player I've seen in myself is a building confidence of becoming a DM. I've only DM'd for Steve and a handful of other people for like one-shots, including you guys. And I have been honing that skill while being a player, knowing how a player thinks. I'm like applying those things to how I'll handle things as a DM. So it's
confidence is just it. I think observing you, Emmy, from the very beginning to now, your voice used to shake a little bit. You used to like kind of lack confidence in like speaking up, and now it's just you're there.
Oh, that's definitely been an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Josh?
I feel like from the beginning to now, I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable in my own skin. As far as role playing and stuff, that's like new to me, but it wasn't like something that I think maybe I've improved in my improv and stuff like that, but I think I've grown more as a person than a player. I feel very comfortable just doing my own thing, being myself. I don't feel like I'm doing things for other people. D&D, guys, changes your lives.
It really does.
D&D is therapy. You find a lot about yourself.
It really, really does.
I've got to say, in the short time, I'm still new to D&D, so the role-playing aspect plus the actual game mechanics, like I'm still learning where things, like how things work, but I'm quicker on to navigating the D&D Beyond pages and knowing what my action economy is, the mechanics of it all, and just getting a grip on which dice is what dice. And for some of you, I don't know if I can get this down, I didn't know what the dice were.
Oh yeah, your dice cheat sheet.
I built this as a roll table, which I ended up taking it down, and now it's wall art. I carved it into wood,
Amazing.
Forge a Lore logo, and then each dice shape, what they are, and then just added some extra charisma dex, wisdom and everything on it.
I love that.
And I actually had this as my roll table that I had to the side, and that's what I would roll on.
Guys, Tyler's gonna in real life.
And I don't really need it. So that's my character development. Really is not being
Tyler development,
not needing that kind of cheat
Tyler
sheet stuff.
Yeah, but also, I smell a nerd.
Well, yeah. Look around, bud.
What about you, Sam?
It reeks in here.
Yeah.
Generally, getting better at waiting for my turn. I don't like getting better at the improv and stuff. Well, not really improv because I improv my entire life. Like the first time I ever DM'd was like I played, or I was DM for Eric, and I don't think Josh was there, and a couple other people, and like I was just going off of like a, the first couple of encounters were from a adventure book for Pathfinder first edition, and as I went along, like I just got better at it. So like improv, like basically I just improv my entire life, so that's not new for me. But like, not being as overbearing, I guess.
Well, also
what I'm working on.
From my perspective, Sam, when you came in, like, this isn't just role playing and improv and stuff. This is also being on camera and like being in front of an audience. And I feel like at the beginning you were so much more timid and quiet. And when you kind of started to branch out and started like role playing as Marcus, I feel like I saw a different part of you.
Yeah,
now you're all up into the, I hear there's murders up in here.
God, I love that.
Howdy, partners. Like,
used
what?
to not speak unless spoken to, and usually it was just a few words max. But now I remember the first time that you sparked up a conversation, I was like, oh shit, look at Sam feeling comfortable on camera.
Well, it wasn't just uncomfortable, it was also like trying not to be my overbearing self, because like my first job I was a manager within 2 years, like, so I say that because like I am generally speaking kind of overbearing and then try to overbear on other people, so I try I try to hold that back. And I don't have any problem leading people, so like when I was doing this, I was like, okay, you gotta dial that back, buddy, okay?
Bro, Sam.
You need to not be, boss Sam here, okay?
Sam, from the time that we started to now, you are a completely different human being in social situations.
Bingo.
You are completely different. You are not the same Sam as you were 2
Again,
years ago.
D&D is therapy, folks.
Yeah.
Play
In a good
D&D
way.
or whatever TTRPG. Roleplay. Have fun.
Well, I think it shows us the flaws that we see in ourselves that we kind of don't like to confront, and then eventually you sort of, as your character is working through that shit, you kind of work through that shit, and it's sneaky. It's a sneaky sumbitch, and I love it.
I told a few people that one of the reasons I wanted to get into this was through different family members of different persuasions, or like, that's childish. This is childish. This is stupid. You need to be an adult. You need to X, Y, and Z things. And I used to be very creative. I used to be able to do certain things, and I feel like I lost those. And I saw this as a opportunity to try to reconnect with that and try to get some staunchiness like out of my head. Not that I was necessarily staunchy, but I wanted to like beat that stigma. I wanted to help curb that. And I definitely, that has helped. That has actually helped in my real life situation where I handle certain things. I feel like my emotional maturity is a whole lot better now. Not that it was horrible before, but you know, just like anybody, there are certain situations I didn't handle that great. So, yeah, Steve's right. You know, it's therapy. However you play, however you get it out, do some role playing. Try experience your limits and get to know yourself better.
Roleplay is a sandbox to experiment how to interact with other people. You find out what works and what doesn't work in a hopefully safe environment. If it's not a safe environment to experiment like that, find a new game.
I feel like you've crafted a pretty safe environment for us too, Steve. I think you've done a really good job of that.
I mean, that's the whole group.
Yep.
Yeah, I think also that's important too. We have an incredible group.
Yeah, we all know how to respect boundaries and realize when we're going too far, or we just know each other.
Yeah, and we're not afraid to voice up and have our opinions heard if something does strike us wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Which is very, 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 very minimal. Just like Josh said, this is a great group of people. I think we're doing great things.
Like I've been in D&D campaigns where other people, you're just like grading. You're just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I can't stand this.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh god.
Like, it's just not a good mesh. Like they are so railroaded into playing a certain way, they don't want to adapt to anyone else.
You don't want to try new
maybe
things.
you're talking about a different person, but I still know who.
It's a campaign that we didn't play in together.
Yeah.
That I was thinking of.
Oh, really?
Oh,
wow.
Josh's lady, she says, I love how passionate you all are about this, but also you genuinely look like you guys enjoy doing this, which makes it very fun for me to watch, especially because I don't know anything about D&D, so thank you for that. I'll teach you.
Thank you.
I'll teach you.
Yeah.
Let's hang out.
You were playing in a D&D group that wasn't ours?
Yes, I played a gnome. It was actually Pathfinder. I played a gnome alchemist whose name was Nomeo, and he would cross-dress and try to flirt with everyone.
Wow.
So it was
you had a drag gnome. Adorable.
Drag gnome.
That's so
I think
cute.
we're going to, we're about time for a break, but before we do that, is this a good time to play that song you guys wrote?
Yes, she's in the other room listening.
Good do. So this is we record this on our stream anniversary over at twitch.tv/Forge of Lore, and we had fun redemptions for our fundraiser, and one that the username Sideric Slut donated for is we had the option of Emmy writing improv song and Josh writing an improv song. She decided why not both? So she wanted them to write a song together about was it how awesome indoors
being
are?
indoors.
Yeah, being indoors.
Being indoors.
So this should play.
that.
Let me know if I haven't heard. None of us except Josh and Emmy have heard this. They recorded it earlier.
We were dying.
Let's see if this works. Okay, it does. So let me unmute this and listen to this.
What a beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
But it's 90 degrees.
90 degrees.
When you stand outside.
Stand outside.
It feels like you're wearing fleece.
Yes.
It's way too damn hot.
Way too damn hot.
And there's sweat on my brow.
Sweat on my brow.
So I'll go back inside.
Go back inside.
Where I might lay down.
Oh,
AC, like in
Naglfar,
Naglfar, it
pleases
me. AC, never you mind. Just leave me.
Leave me be, leave me be, leave me be. Leave me be, leave me be, leave me be. Leave me be, leave me be, leave me be. Leave me be, 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 leave me be. She's dying in the other room.
Standing belly clap.
Yay!
It was so worth the 2 hours we spent on it.
Absolutely,
Thank you,
that was so
Donald.
fun.
Wow.
Holy
Oh,
crap.
that was awesome. So I expected when you said there's sweat on my brow, I was expecting Josh to come back with there's sweat on my balls.
And with that, folks, we'll be right back.
Well, welcome back to Long Rest. We've been recounting the episodes that's trying to catch us up to where we're at now in the story. We just revisited Smithaheim, talking to Anvari, getting some information, taking him down, and Gunny joining the troops. Before we left town, we had a little celebrating to do. Some arm wrestlings happened. Actually, there's an arm wrestling tournament that happened where we had an Aesir intervention.
Yeah, the greatest use of an Aesir intervention to make Marcus lose at arm wrestling. Did you guys enjoy the going away party? Like, was that fun?
Yeah.
This is the
Did it
invention of
feel
pizza.
like a party?
Yes. Felt like a pizza
It wasn't
party.
the invention of pizza. They already had it.
Oh,
It
okay.
was just the introduction of pizza.
Sure.
Franchising.
I mean, they had all the ingredients, but really, Jotunhut original pizza supply.
Just saying,
Jotun
there
Hut.
is Jotun Merch at forgeoflore.store.
Yep.
Yes.
Gunny almost immediately drank too much and had quite the hangover on the way to the hotel, the halfway house. Man, it's bright out here.
It's nighttime.
I thought it was very
Yep.
sweet that Marcus was like, well, I don't want him to, sleep rough or have a bad morning, so let's a restoration. As he went
Yeah.
to bed.
That
I
was
thought
very
that was
nice of him.
adorable. Adorable.
Marcus is cool that way.
Yep. So after that all happened, that's when we went and talked to the king.
Mhm.
After talking to the king and getting him set straight with the Muledir and what Minnie is and all that, we came back to Smithaheim and started to seek out the dungeon that was there.
Mm-hmm.
We had one weird,
The big one.
the big one,
Yeah,
the big dungeon. Getting there, we had a DM trap, as you would, a travel trap,
An
where we had a bridge.
So
Yeah, we
apt.
had a bridge that was out.
A bridge to cross, you say?
Yeah. It was several feet down, several feet across.
A few.
It probably could have worked out if we just climbed down, walked across, and climbed up.
Yep.
How much of the day would that have taken?
That's for nerds.
I believe we had asked Steve, I had asked Steve individually, and I think we might have done this on Emmy's short rest, leading up to what we had found out at this dungeon. But Steve, that bridge,
Just thought it'd be fun.
what was the true way across the bridge?
About 50. I came up with about 6 different ways you could have done it. The chilling in a fucking bag of holding wasn't one of them that I had thought of, but that's another one where I'm like, I just built a problem and without the intention of a solve. I'm like, it's that classic, old school D&D is like, how to get through a dungeon is like, oh, I need to go down a mine shaft. How do I, do we have enough rope? We don't? Okay. Does someone have featherfall? How are we gonna get back up? Like that classic D&D problem solving. We don't get much of that.
Right.
I don't really incorporate much of that. So I was I thought it'd be a cool map to make. It was fun. And I thought, why not slip in some of that classic D&D kind of scenario of just, here's a problem, solve it. It's not fight or anything, just figure it out.
I still have an image in my head that I really want to draw. I haven't sat down and taken the moment of 2 bags of holdings sitting on the end of the bridge, one with Gunny's head, one with Marcus's head, and then Nifrim flying with Sidoric's head out of a bag. I need to see it happen. I need to make that happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
One's in chat if you'd buy that merch.
So we get to the dungeon, and the first thing we learn, Emmy?
Oh my god.
The crows!
I mean,
Oh
ravens,
my
but yeah.
god, I was so happy. I was so happy.
I knew about the crows, the ravens, beforehand. Before I joined the campaign, I was on one of Steve's Talespire streams where he let one of those secrets go.
Well, it was
And
my
I
egg
asked-
stream. It was
Oh, that's-
I was challenged. We met a goal, and I was supposed to eat like 5 bags
No,
of
it
eggs.
wasn't the egg stream because I was present for that.
Oh, I thought
You
it
let a
was-
different
There
secret
was
go.
there was another secret. I think it was
Oh.
for a sub goal.
Yeah, that's what
I
it
had
was. It was a
asked, hey,
sub-goal.
should I stick around? You're like, yeah,
fine.
just for the long rest portion of it. And
Yeah.
so I stuck around. I knew the whole crow thing, and to the point where there were certain things that happened, and I heard the crows. So leading up to that point, Steve would play raven sounders in the background
Yep.
when there was a raven present. And
right.
at Smeatheim, when we walked out of the main building, the hall, one of those sounders happened right then. That was like when you guys first met me, and we walked out the first time when Sidoric's feet were burning. And I like that I tried to play it off to Nifrim, like when she found out she was the only one that was in the room.
Yeah.
Well, Gunny was there.
I was at the edge. I was at the edge of the room, and I'm like, I didn't hear anything. I don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. There's no way these ravens are. But I eventually gave in.
Yeah. Like I said before, I am fascinated by conspiracy theories, and one of my favorites, because it is so easy to debunk, is that birds aren't real. They're just government surveillance drones. Like, just kill one and find out. And I couldn't help but put it in there. It's just ravens. But yeah, ravens are not native to Thorin. It's fun.
Yeah, because I know. We talked about it in the short rest episode where there was one raven where Sidoric was hunting it at camp, and he hit it, and you're like, yeah, it does this damage, which should have killed a raven. And
A raven
then
has like 2 damage, and it did like
it got up
8.
and flew away.
It was
And it
actually
just flew
after Eggard's after we met Eggard in the hole. It was that next episode. Josh
That's what it was.
hit it, and it flew off.
It's all the way back to Naglfar.
I didn't even think about the HP of that bird. I was just like, oh,
I
So
mean,
as
how
a
are you
weird
to know how
question,
much?
yeah.
Yeah.
as a weird question, that where we are now, if Nifrim wasn't given that teleportation ring, where do you actually think you'd be by now?
Oh, so much slower. Oh, so much
Do you think
slower.
do you think you'd be at Midgard by now?
You'd have to find a way in.
It would have been really, really
That
difficult.
seems like it would be a
Yeah.
pretty exciting thing to figure out. How to sneak.
We'd be doing some pirate stuff, I
Fuck
think.
yeah.
We'd still be on
Probably.
Jormungandr.
Yeah.
We'd
via
still be.
Still
we
be
wouldn't even be
sailing.
at Midgard yet. 10
Because
years
we
later.
crossed that ocean a couple times. We went back, talked to
Yeah.
the king, came back to Smeatheim.
Our
Well,
last-
Smeatheim is on the
It's on the north side.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting from Nif's family home to Smeatheim and
I write
or
my-
Midgard to Smeatheim.
I write my campaigns like a video game, and you guys unlock fast travel. I'm here for it. Makes everything easier.
Nice.
Imagine we didn't unlock that last episode. Steve would be like, and roll it. And we'd all be like, yes, I'm Cedric.
We'd all be so old.
I'm so old in real life now.
So, not to
I'm
spend
just
too
in
much
a corner,
time.
like it's sitting in my desk, but there's just the skull left.
Sam's just fucking
Dead.
sleeping.
Not to spend too much time
No.
on this dungeon, because we covered this dungeon and a lot of the lore
Check out the
up
short
to,
rest.
on the short rest.
Torchlore.com.
There is one thing that I want to hit on is this is where we found that the rest of the gods are AI. We had a struggle here at this location on what is Mini? What are the gods? Do we still want to shut Mini down? And I've got a theory or a thought that I want to share with the group as players, and I think we all understand where we are on players on it. But shutting Mini down at this point is no different than eliminating Invari. Yeah, Mini may be AI, she may be sentient, she may have thoughts and feelings, but she's still doing bad things. She's doing bad things on the assumption that she's doing the right thing. And Vari was doing bad things on the assumption he was doing the right thing.
Right.
So really, there's no moral dilemma against what Mini is versus what Invari is.
But there
because
is.
I don't think there's no turning her around.
Right. The moral dilemma for
reasons.
Nifrim is that she is bound by her programming, whereas like we could possibly convince a person to change their mind. Mini can't be changed, so it feels like it's unfair. So like, yes, we have to take her down because she is going to hurt people. That is definitely a fact. But there is definitely still a moral conundrum to the fact that she is a conscious being who is chained by her programming. That's the way I see it anyway.
Well, it could be not terribly different than a conscious being that's programmed by their upbringing and indoctrined into a certain way of thinking and a certain way of acting.
Right,
I mean,
except for
there are behavioral programming and unprogramming, and
Of
there
course.
just isn't the option to unprogram on her.
yeah, it's the lack of option that makes it a little morally gray for Nifrim. But
So
like,
we
Thor
get
said do
done.
it, so nah.
Yeah. We get done in that dungeon, we find out what we find out, and we teleport to the Colburn Estates. Just as we're beat, we're hurting, we need to get somewhere safe. This is a safe place to land. We need to update people. We get there, and there's actually quite a bit of story that progresses at just the Colburn Estates for the night that we're there.
yep.
I meet the Colburns. I meet your brother. We go over some tech that I have, and we fill him in on Anvari, the rest of the gods and everything. Marcus hits on your brother and Panda Fireplace. Josh goes for a long walk. Cedric goes for a long walk with a bitch.
Whoa!
And ends up professing his love while chucking his sword into the ocean.
Yeah.
Josh,
It was
Cedric's
movie-esque.
character development right there.
Yeah.
Can you bring us in a little on what you were thinking and what was really going on?
Okay, so we had that conversation with Minnie, right? And despite trying to show her a different way of looking at things, she was just so ingrained in her own logic and like the programming that she couldn't see otherwise. And she, like the other AI, they have very similar programming. So even the other AI are built for a very specific purpose. And so they're leading us to a very specific purpose, and we don't really know what that absolute purpose is. So that's where my faith in the AI kind of diminished. You saw smart Sideric talking to Minnie. And then, it just kind of like, things kind of fell apart there. Decided, fuck the gods, fuck Heimdall. I had my little pouty thing. Got banished for a little bit. Then came back and was like, I'm done. And I stormed out, ate some cow poop. And then I was like, man, this is the worst fucking day ever. And so, yeah, it was a little emo Sideric in that moment. And now I'm slowly in like recovery mode, like finding new Sideric. A little overcompensating with his own blades and power right now, but also seeing the friendship and stuff that is going to be forming and realizing that he doesn't have to do everything by himself.
I can't help but think input when you say smart Sideric together, think of Professor Hulk.
Yes.
Yeah, smart Hulk.
Smart Hulk at the moment.
I love it. Just Sideric in a knitted sweater.
I mean, that
Stretchy.
that moment or that night is a great example of the things that are still playing out in Nifrim's head about being abandoned by Gendry. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but she was definitely pushing Sideric on Hertha and Marcus on Osmond, because she's like, maybe if they fall in love, they won't leave me.
We're not going to leave you. We love Nifrim.
Yet.
Nifrim's very fucking insecure.
You've had some very, and we're going to go back way before, probably like 2 or 3 long rests ago, when we first met your family. And that very first interaction with them where you had to go into the trees and dress up for them. You have not dressed up for them since.
Nope.
So Nifrim continues to grow in her own way.
Yes.
But I think it was in between that first visit and coming back from the first dungeon, Nifrim felt like, as a viewer, it felt like Nifrim felt she had to put on a face, the Colburn persona, for the family, just because that's who she was when she left originally, and was afraid to show them her new self.
Yes.
We saw a lot of vulnerability
in between
there.
that, I almost feel like it was the dinner is where Nifrim kind of
Everything changed.
And she like, why am I doing this? I don't need to do this.
The day
this
the
is,
firebenders attack.
Nothing has changed here. I think she hit that moment where I have changed, the world has changed, I'm trying to make things better, but almost literally nothing in this house has changed.
Well,
Everything is as I left it.
She hung a lot on her family's opinion of her, and then during the dinner, with how everybody was kind of acting, she kind of realized that her family was the chosen people that she had around her, and those were the people that she'd rather impress other than her family. And I think that was a seriously altering moment for her.
Listen, Emmy, we all know the pinnacle point to your character development is when I came in and I had many, many shirts on.
So many shirts! Nifrim actually didn't get to see that.
You're like,
Marcus
this is my
saved
family.
you. These are my people.
My brethren, my people. I belong.
We would have looked like a bunch of idiots.
The next morning, we we put together some sword dagger gauntlets.
Sword
and,
arms.
Sword arms. And made our way to Holdaheim. And the first thing we do, we teleport into Holdaheim. We're surrounded by guards. Tensions are high. We got these pikes, like, pointed at us. State your business! And Marcus immediately pikes up and says, I'm here to find the Kelrus, my family, and kill them.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Who were in cahoots with the city guard.
Yep.
Sideric did not
Absolutely.
react to that, and I think that's because Joshua was not probably paying attention. So just
The
imagine
fact-
Sideric sitting there picking his nose.
The fact that we
None
walked
of you
away from
knew.
that with no intent, like, with no ill intent for the guards was amazing. And I don't know, Steve, was that a pass?
It was a little fudgy, but the way I decided to kind of explain it was that they, like, the guards, yeah, they work with the Kelris, but they won't do anything without Kelris, they won't do anything
It's not
for
like
the
they
Kelris
worship them.
without Kelris asking them to, explicitly. So it would make sense. Also, I just wanted to give you guys run of the city as soon as you took care of Raunor.
I feel like as soon as we got that, I think that set the tone for us just staying with the
Spate.
Spate and not going out and doing the shopping is because, well, those guards probably went and at least warned the Kelris that were here.
They did.
Well, I feel like the hierarchy, you have the Kelris and you have the guards, the below the rifle, and the below the rifle are going to be a little higher in that hierarchy. So I don't feel like they would necessarily be like, we have to warn these guys because we answer to them. I feel like they'd be more like, they'll take care of themselves, I guess.
Mm-hmm. True.
We are lucky.
They probably warned them, but more of just so you know, some weirdo came by and said they're coming to kill, it's Raunor or whoever.
Raunor. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye out. Watch your back.
Well,
so we get to the
think Marcus knew that they were in cahoots.
No,
none of you did.
None of us
None
did.
of you did. You had no
Not
reason
until
to.
I think we talked to this Fate. Once we talked to this Fate, they're the ones who said that the Kelris are hand in hand with the guards.
Like when he said that to them, it's mostly just Marcus being incredibly blunt, ripping the bandage off like he does everywhere.
Yeah.
But also because he's like, these are guards. We are going to take on a criminal element in their city. Maybe you guys want to help with that, or at the very least, know to stay out of the way while we deal with your problem.
That's not a bad point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my headphones.
That's what was going through my mind when I did that.
Dare you? How dare you, Tyler?
I know. So we met up with Fate. We went in, had a conversation with them, so they filled us in on the city's happenings, how everything went out. We also, Nifrim got a message from King Tolek saying our presence was requested at Holdeheim with the king and to wait further instruction.
They're like, how quick can you get to Holdeheim? You're like, all right, here, dog.
We're here.
Get on my level.
So the state sends us off to a warehouse where some Kelris are known to hold up. Ended up being their warehouse of goods that are stolen, appropriated from the citizens of the town.
Mm-hmm.
That was an interesting traverse to get there. The
solid snake.
The sneaking on the way there.
Loved
the taking out the guards or the people who were coming around.
Mm-hmm.
And then the battle inside where we more or less had to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So no boomings, no loud smites, nothing large, no lightning.
No thunder wave or anything.
That was an interesting time. Again, AC or intervention on the god of silence showing up and kicking one of the fleeing Kelris back into the building.
Another great Aesir intervention. From
that was Viv, right?
Vidar. Yeah, that was Viv. I thought it'd be fun for him to just fly back into the room.
Saved our fucking bacon so hard. That could have been so much worse.
That was badass. We were having a rough time.
Mm-hmm.
We were.
Cat saved your ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It seems to happen more often than it should, but we are more than grateful for it.
Maybe, you should all join us over at twitch.tv/Forge of Lore, and you can help out the Odin Slayers or ruin their day with disadvantage.
Y'all have been, a lot of you have been here most of the day. You've probably collected some runes today, so rock on.
Oh,
to
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's a good
This
point.
has been a great rune.
Rune farming day. Yay.
Yes.
Speaking of Viv, if you go and lurk on the Grouch Couch's channel, they're probably going to raid into us. So if you want those extra raid runes. Now, after the warehouse battle, there was some awkward situations that happened during the discovery phase. And I want to talk about the process that happened and what was running through my mind at the time. Specifically, when we were gathering information, we were investigating for coins or for other supplies and stuff. And I was playing that 100% as Gunny. As new to the team, new player, not knowing how you all roll together, and I was going through finding all this stuff that I had found, and the intention was, we need to get out of here. We need to get our stuff. We need to get out of here before the next patrol comes around and finds us here.
Mm-hmm.
My intentions was to take the stuff back to the Fate house and go, hey guys, this is what I found.
Yeah.
You know, split this out in front of us. And we had this awkward moment where we were going through, and what did you find? Okay, are you telling us you found that? Are you splitting this with the party? It went back and forth a couple times with Emmy going, what did you find? Are you telling us? And I ended up having to just say, just trust me.
Okay, so let me explain something to you real quick about that, Tyler. First of all, the only thing I asked about was the gold, because when we split gold, we just split it then and there. As far as like, we never really role play splitting the gold unless there's like Gendry was a different story. That's the only reason I ask people, is because he's like a thief.
Rogue's gonna rogue.
Yeah. And he might keep the gold or he might split it. It sort of just depended on what he was going to do. So what I was asking about was just the gold, because we usually don't role play that. Like we just usually go, okay, so the party gets blah, blah, blah. Like we split it, whatever. So I wasn't trying to like step on your like what you found kind of thing.
Yeah, this is a good example of something I can go back on and watch and see, because there's been a tremendous. It seems like that moment was forever ago.
Yeah. I mean, it was months.
Not much has happened, like, really, between then and now. That was, like, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing.
Yeah.
In game.
It was
My
months
role
ago
playing
in real life.
has grown so much since then.
Yeah.
One, just the way we're meshing, because
chemistry.
I went into that moment. How would I role play this as Gunny?
Yeah.
We need to get in. We need to get out. You know,
and it was
that's
realistic, but like, especially for a show, kind of, you can be like, yeah, split the gold now, and you can say that you split it when we got back or whatever.
Unless,
and
like,
that's
the
something
DM
you're
were
new
like,
to,
you
so.
might want to wait to do that because there
Yeah.
might be other things happening. Like, that's where I would expect
that's where the role playing's growth on me has changed, is because now I know as far as the gameplay works. That's not how I would handle it now.
Yeah, like
Right.
how much you just kind of
that's
assume.
a little growth. Yeah, that's a little growth on my end on the play aspect and what we just, it may be in a hurry, but like time doesn't quite work the same in Thorin as it does for us here. So
as players, right?
That's just learning how to, play with a certain group, and every group will be different. I mean, there's plenty of groups I know that'll be like, no, we have to role play everything.
The only reason I really wanted to touch on this is because it's a learning experience for me, and for anybody who's watching and wanting to get into role playing. You can take this as an experience of, just because you have an idea in your head and how it plays out doesn't necessarily mean it's the correct idea.
That's a good point.
And you've got to be able to adjust, and I don't want to say compromise, but nothing's set in stone.
Yeah.
You need to be able to learn, you need to be able to adjust, and you need to be able to work with your teammates on things.
That's all improv, baby.
I think that's a good direct representation if anyone's looking to get into one streaming with people that I know all these guys, but you know, it was a little stressful, different environment being online and doing this. So
for sure.
To me, that's a great reference point to go back into. And I've watched that a couple times. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have done it that way. You know?
Oh, I don't think you did anything wrong.
No, but as
but
far
I know what
as
you
my
mean.
growth,
Like,
yeah,
you would have handled it differently. Yeah. But I love that, though, that you're able to look back on that and be able to reflect and go, oh, okay, I see how I would have done that now. Like, it makes more sense. I mean, that's just learning the game and learning the group.
Yeah. If you're not always willing to learn and improving on your craft, there's nowhere to go. I mean, if you're willing to improve anything in your life, if you're always willing to learn anything or something, your life is going to be substantially better because of it. So
I love that, Tyler.
Yeah.
out of
That's
the warehouse, we found, actually getting to the warehouse with the sneaky stuff, we had some
Coup de grace.
rope tricks. We had some coup de grace. We had Sideric throwing people up into the rafters.
That was funny.
And then getting back was more or less just you kind of get back. But we had
That's all I had.
pretty much taken
Sorry.
out the guards.
That's all I got.
We found some good information there. We found out after interrogation where the Kelris headquarters were. And the ledger of goods taken. And we gave that stuff back to this fate for them to be able to go back to the warehouse and distribute stuff. I think we probably touched on it during that episode. Did this fate go back that night to get control, with thinking that Kelris or the Blue Rayfield will probably go back and seize?
No, the whole kind of situation there was, the people that you took out were there overnight. And when they didn't show up in the morning, when they didn't come back in the morning or weren't there when they checked in the morning, then the Kelris would kind of take it back or whatever, and know that something's up. So that's, as far as the fate, they're like, we'll take care of this, we'll take over this place and redistribute, but first, you need to go take out Ralnor before they catch wind that their warehouse is down. Basically, attack before they find out.
Okay.
And that's why it was the next day where they're like, you need to go take them out now. Otherwise, that was pointless, other than finding out the location.
Yep.
Killing Kelris is never useless.
So we get back to this fate. We spend the night healing up, and we devise a plan for a distraction for us to be able to go take the Kelris out. We sneak our way over there, and the distraction is a projected dragon. Steve, was that always the plan for distraction, or did you have any other possible ways that could have went?
That's pretty much, I was like trying to think of what the distraction would be. But I figured it'd be cool, like, they needed a wider distraction, right? Than like Midgard, where it was just like a couple blocks or a few blocks, like an area, and trying to move people away. They needed something that would draw pretty much all of them and distract all of them, like the whole city. And so they figured dragon, and it was a cool opportunity to like kind of describe and show off the anti-air, like surface to air ballistae that I created when I built Holdheim in Talespire. Thought it'd be cool that they have like big pneumatic fucking spear throwers on the top of their parapets. Holdheim has never fallen, and you can attack from the air. How do you defend from the air? Anti-aircraft.
Oh, real quick. Sorry, I just remembered. Steve told me this the other day, and I think it would be really cool for him to share here. The Whistling Kettle. The meaning behind the name of the Silence Fate safe house.
The Silence Fate tavern is the Whistling Kettle. I try to be clever with all my names. Like the other tavern in Holdeheim is the Beer Stein, which Stein is, of course, a mug or whatever, but it's also Norse and German for rock and stone. You know, you're surrounded by stone in Holdeheim. But the Whistling Kettle is, I was looking up parts of a mountain to come up with a clever name. And when, mountain ranges meet, the valley where water runs down and usually creates a lake there, that's called a kettle. Which, of course, a kettle is also, something you boil water in for, refreshments
tea.
Or whatever. For tea or coffee or whatever. So I thought it'd be cool that, a bar would also be named after, Holdeheim is literally in a kettle. So I thought it'd be fun.
I thought it was really cute.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be clever.
So I've got to give Steve major props because he has created one hell of a world storyline and extreme details into this world.
Mm-hmm.
Not much has, and it's all been accurate and correct. Steve's done his research. He's gotten answers when he's had questions. Everyone is going to mess up, but I don't think anyone's really caught you and called you out on that's not right. This isn't the way it's supposed to be.
Thanks.
Actually, from what I've caught from people who are in chat, who are of, that side of the world,
like Scandi, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of your stuff is pretty accurate to what they have heard or had seen in pronunciations and stuff. So
yeah,
I know that job is not easy. And I want to say that I see it and I recognize it. It's amazing that you can put all this together for us.
Oh, well, thank you. I can chalk it up to OCD for the most part. I like to be accurate, and I always like the idea of infotainment, where you can, it's fun, but if you really look into something, you might learn something. And I find Norse fascinating. As much as I hate history, Norse is just so underappreciated. And it's funny because a lot of people love Viking shit, but it's not maybe appreciated properly, I feel, because a lot of it's misunderstood, and Vikings were big, dirty brutes with horned helmets. Literally none of that was true. They were clean, they were eloquent. It was more important to be smart and clever than strong, and I like to point that out.
No, I was just going to say, it makes sense that you hate history because American history fucking sucks.
Oh yeah, American history is boring and short.
No, it's not that it's boring and short. American history, for the most part, absolutely is terrible and sucks.
To be fair, the Norse had their, let's call them drawbacks as well, but
yeah, for sure. But I can attest to Steve's hyper focus. Before we started the campaign, I barely saw him. He was so focused on researching, and it was very frustrating because we tell each other everything, and he'd be like, "Oh my god, I've learned so much. I can't tell you.
I found out something cool that I can't tell you because it's fucking relevant."
And I agree. You've definitely built out this crazy, awesome world, detailed and very immersive.
I just like that you guys. I just like that you guys appreciate it. OMG, guys! It's the motherfucking.
Did you kill my character?
Oh my god, guys! This is so weird. I usually raid the Grouch Couch, and now they're raiding us. Oh my god!
Did Eon die?
Yeah, it was gonna be on tonight, but they weren't gonna do it, so we scheduled this, and they got it.
They kink strangled her! Oh my god!
Kink strangled her? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely almost fucked Roger. Yeah.
Ooh.
Sick.
What?
Guys, check out the Grouch Couch. It's good stuff. Emmy's over there usually on Sundays.
Oh.
Welcome in, friends. We're doing our streamiversary, doing a fundraiser. If you do anniversary commands, we got fun redemptions and stuff. It's a lot of fun. You have a private session DM'd by me or Sam. Name Skald NPC or just put nipple pasties on Josh's face. Even during the show, we're currently recording our.
He was muted, but he said whatever you want.
our
he
long
could
rest.
put more nipple pasties on his nipples.
Yeah.
Sure can.
This is our
There's
long
current
rest
fire
where
ones
we
around
recap and
show off
discuss
your-
our show.
He's got nipple pasties.
Nice. Yep, those are the flame ones. With his halter top that says Thor
Courtesy of
sucks.
OG Lava Kitten.
Yeah, welcome in, friends. Have some fun.
Oh my god.
Thanks for the raid.
I don't
Thor
think you can
sucks.
see it. It's too
Your
shiny.
shirt is stupid.
It is very shiny.
Cute.
Thor
I look like
sucks.
a superhero. Like I'm just unmasking my suit
Stand up,
right now.
stand up, Josh.
Yeah. Now you don't look like a superhero.
Now you don't look like a superhero.
Yes, I do.
Guys,
I look like an amazing
twitch.tv/ForgeLore.
superhero.
Oh my god.
We're keeping this in.
So you guys found us. We were in a long rest. We are at Holdaheim. We're making our way to the Kelris hideout, their headquarters.
Oh yes, Mira. Sorry,
so
real quick. Mira,
Marcus-
you're into Viking stuff, right? Welcome in. This is like Viking-inspired campaign.
Yep.
Sorry,
Viking in
Tyler.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Sick. All right, go ahead, Tyler.
So, Marcus, we're heading towards the Keller's hideout so Marcus can kill more of his family. We get in there, and with some creativity, we again go into this mini dungeon hideout through the roof. We go to the top, and we work our way down and in. We actually split the party, which ended up working out.
It's wow, we were lucky.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. I was concerned because originally, we're all going in through up here, correct? And I really tried to make that point, we're going in up here, right? So I start going in up the top just to make sure our way is clear, and then the two of them walk in through the front door, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing this. That was an interesting map, being multi-layered.
And it was beautiful.
The detail to that
It's a
map.
lot of fun.
Cedric had a rough time in that building.
Did I?
Yeah, you
That
almost
was
died,
the
and then
Kelris
you got a complex about
Okay,
it.
so physically, yes, I had a rough time. Mentally, I was having so much fun.
Mentally,
Yeah, Josh was having
you were
fun.
ready to
Cedric
die.
wasn't.
I was ready to die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cedric was like, if I die, I die.
He said,
That's it.
"Fuck it,
And
I'm
we
all
ended
in."
up having to come together and get you some healing potions.
Well,
It was
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
It was so cool because Cedric has, in the past couple of big dungeon thingies that we've had, has come close to death and been afraid. He's been really scared, and for him to have this moment in this big dungeon where he's like, you know what? If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna fucking go out taking these guys with me. And I thought that was a really cool moment.
So what? It took 2 sessions to get through the Keller's hideout. We end up finding Ralnor, and Marcus questions him. Marcus, what were you expecting out of Ralnor? Did you have him as a character built up in your head? What you thought you were going to end up coming across versus the true Ralnor that we encountered and talked to?
I kind of left everything up to Steve, so I didn't know what to. But from Marcus's perspective, who cares? Kill them. They're all stupid and shitty, anyways.
I mean,
And then when he's all like, "Yeah, but my family's shitty and I don't like them and I don't want to do this," he's like, "Yeah, but you were, one of them on the day they killed my dad, so you gotta die." And then I was like, I'll be like, maybe, and then I'll ask Thor what he thinks about it, and he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool.
Thanks to another Seer intervention.
Well, I think that was just an advantage on his roll.
Oh, that's right.
it?
That's right.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
rolled
That's right.
for pray
Yeah.
to the Thor and be like, "Yo, what do you think, buddy? Can I
Viv gave him
give this
advantage.
one a pass?"
That's
Yeah.
right.
Were you, before Thor gave you the okay, would you have let him walk out of there alive?
Hell no.
Nope.
That feels correct. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, ultimately, we would have found all of his stuff anyways. We would have been able to have kept all of his stuff, his armor and things. You know, so we really had no positive reason to let him go other than to not having to kill this guy.
Basically,
Well, that
I
and
kind of wanted to test Marcus to see, he's a vengeance paladin, sure. How far is he gonna keep to that when he realizes that someone did something, that he's avenging that the guy didn't really want to do, and he doesn't even like these guys, and stuff like that. I thought I'd give that moral quandary. I mean, either way, it could have gone either way.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
It's not really a moral quandary for him. Like, as far as his oath is, he has to kill all of them. And he thinks that his oath powers is coming from Thor. So he's like, what do you think, dude? I don't care one way or the other. I really want to kill him. But, he makes some good points. And we made a deal.
I like that we made a deal with this guy, and I think Marcus was able to see that he wasn't true Kelrus and that he didn't want to be there. He didn't want anything to do with these people. He just wanted to live in peace in the fucking forest and be a druid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
And
But
he gave
did
Marcus some
give-
pretty critical information.
Yeah, he gave you a
Yes.
lot of information about your family. I mean,
He's
That
very
was-
lucky
Killed him?
that you...
If you killed him, he wouldn't have given you that.
Sure, because he'd be dead.
that's a lot of info.
He's lucky he got away when he did, because...
How did Marcus, obviously we know how he responded to slamming things and destroying stuff to your mother's hand and what happened to your family.
Yeah.
Like, what was in your Smash therapy session? What was really rolling through Marcus's head?
Nothing. He was just like, he saw red, and then he went away from you guys so that he didn't hit you.
Oh, well, that was very thoughtful.
So, blind rage. Okay.
Yep.
It's understandable.
You would like to
He did.
rage.
That's like his first I barbarian rage.
Did he multi-class for like 5 seconds?
5 seconds.
I'm gonna do a 5-second multi-class real quick.
I need to go somewhere else and break everything that I can see with this hammer. And I have another charge with this hammer, so I'm going to use it because I want to see more explosions.
Mm-hmm. Kitty.
So we get the ledger of the king's doings with the Kelrus, or what he had them do that he couldn't have his own men do. And then we go to leave this hideout and get a gentle reminder that there is a prisoner cell that was just outside.
Yeah, just
And
subtle.
we get in there.
Just a gentle
subtle.
reminder.
Hey, just so you know, I'm
big deal.
reminding you because you're players that you're not really in this world. Also, it's been like a couple weeks since you got here.
Yeah. We go in and we find a Vidalcan who was chained up, and we rescue her, heal her, find out that she was of the Sfate, and take her back to the Whistling Kettle so that she could be back with her group.
Very kind.
On the way there, we came across a spider-like being that
not
had
forgotten
a
about that.
raven close by.
You came across a subtle reminder at your main quest.
So I'm going to assume off of that comment that that is one of Minnie's biological experiments that has gotten free or has been sent after us.
I mean, you know it's been in those tunnels. You saw the prints. The tracks.
Yep. We got a little hint of that in the first mini dungeon when we were seeing her biological experimentations. So I have not forgotten what is it, a drider that we saw?
Drider.
I have not forgotten.
Driders can dig tunnels, correct?
What was that, Josh?
Driders can dig tunnels, correct?
Shrug.
I'm thinking, like, what if these characters aren't biological creations, right? What if they are the original?
They're the Emir.
No,
I'm kidding.
Right, the original dwellers of.
Of Thorin.
Because they lived underground.
Kind of like Fallout.
That's fucking fascinating.
Right?
Oh, I love that.
Facility did genetic alterations.
Ooh, Josh, I hadn't considered anything like that.
Right.
What if these genetic beings are also AI, not organic, but
like giving them organic
assimilated
bodies?
Well, okay, so if we want to go to that, there was the idea that Minnie had, not before, the Emir had the capability at the Valkyr facility to reanimate the dead to bring them back into new bodies.
Yeah.
So I wonder if she didn't have that kind of a process where these biological creations are an attempt to bring some consciousness back into life, but they're more AI controlled beings for her on a biological level.
Interesting. Oof. Fuck.
Probably unlikely, but
I mean, it's still theories.
So we get back to the Whistling Kettle with the Vidalcan. I get a subtle nudge from Marcus saying, "Hey, show her your thing," and I'm like,
"Gross."
Now, like,
to be clear,
well, everyone's watching, and then I go to the symbol. It's like, oh yeah, Gunny had found this symbol in Anvari's desk of my heritage, my background. And we end up finding out that this Vidalcan that we had rescued was Gunny's sister.
One of many.
And one of many. Apparently Gunny has siblings throughout all of this fate in Thorin. I'm sure that's probably not the only thing that they have been doing as far as solely with this fate. But we've been fathered by a bard who traveled Thorin, telling the stories of the heroics, the truth, stories of the underdogs, and overall trying to do the right thing in the world, and was eventually killed for it.
So Tyler, my question for you, completely honest, like how are you, like, how do you enjoy that kind of reveal, that backstory I wrote for you? Do you like it? Do you think it fits?
I like it. I think it fits. And Emmy, I think you need to add Snorrison to my nameplate.
Oh my word!
Damn!
Major art changes.
Snorrison.
No rush on it, but yeah, you can add Gunny's
just
last
Wednesday.
Add Gunny's,
no.
Yeah, just hurry the fuck up, please. Come on.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. I didn't even consider that. Yeah.
I think with Gunny, that's just going to be a visual representation of that fact that now that Gunny knows, he's going to embrace it.
I like it. I like it a lot. I love that.
So I'm sorry, what's your last name? Snorrison or Thorinson?
Snorrison.
You should watch the fucking show. Snorri Son.
Snorrison, okay.
With 2 S's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Snorri was the name.
Sexy ass Hertho was playing in the background, so Cedric was consumed.
God damn it, Josh!
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a big reveal. That was fucking awesome.
it's a big enough reveal that I'm considering multi-classing into either a level of rogue to work with the fate side of where the rest of the families went, or multi-classing in a level of bard. But I also don't know what I would get out of just a level of bard.
I think also you need a charisma of 13, maybe, to be a bard. I don't know what your charisma is.
Oh no.
12 or 13 or something like that, I think. Because Josh was talking about multi-classing and his charisma wasn't high enough.
See, if I had known,
Womp womp.
I would have done rogue this last level up.
Yeah, it's alright.
But now we're not that far.
Just what we need, more rogue.
Yeah.
Another fucking rogue. God damn it.
Fucking rogue.
Oops, all rogues.
For one level.
Except
for
my
Sam.
My charisma
Yeah,
is
I
a
am not
+0,
gonna
so I have
multi-class
a
into
10.
rogue.
Yeah, you couldn't become you couldn't multi-class into bard.
Nice.
But you
Okay.
can at heart. I mean, you can get into performance, maybe pick up a trumpet.
Well,
Yeah,
it is-
like Marcus, doing a little bit of bard stuff by trying to sleep with everything.
Yeah, slut.
it is getting to that time, I think. We
Yeah.
haven't gotten a chance to
that
talk
end.
about the King's meeting, but do you think we could schedule a long rest so that way we could talk more in depth about current standings?
I mean, that's all that's left, right?
Yeah. The Kings, yeah. Yeah, we really had just this conversation and then the Kings. We met with the Kings. We did a fantastic job of, we met with the Kings. We saw Tola come in. He pulled us in, said, "It's time to go." And we went in. The probably most awkward part of everything was having to give an oath to Tolik that we were by his side if things were to go awry. And yes, Emmy.
He never got an oath from Nifrim. He forgot to ask
that
her.
That was a mistake.
I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but
That
I
was
did
an
not swear
oversight
an
that'll
oath.
probably get turned into purpose.
No, because it was only for that moment. It was only for the meeting, essentially. But I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you brought
we-
Herm into the meeting.
Oh gosh, yeah, you brought Hermit. What is this guy? Who is he?
He's part of the
Get
Jotun
rid of
Slayers.
him.
How does he not know who Herm is?
Right?
So-
Bing Bong
I
is
mean, we have a
pinnacle.
hard enough time remembering Herm as it is.
Yeah,
I
true.
will never forget Herm.
I don't
My
know
lights
about
just
that.
turned blue.
We had the conversation with the Kings. This was a
It
back
went
and
so
forth
well.
taunting between the two kings where how is this going to get anywhere? They're both verbally at each other's throats. And between a collective force of ours on trying to win them over, I wouldn't say explain why the actions we had taken were done, but really rely on the truth of the matter and what had happened. And I think we all gave a really good performance as to trying to win them over, and eventually that prevailed.
You rolled aces. Do you
I
guys?
will say
Yeah, go ahead.
when we walked out of there, Gunny was playing. Is anyone else hot? Like, I'm like soaking in sweat. Like, it is nervous, and that is borderline how I was. I mean, I
Yep.
knew this was high stakes. I knew the wrong thing said could turn it in the wrong direction.
So,
And it was a nervous meeting.
do you guys want to see what you would have had to go up against if it didn't go
Absolutely.
well?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let
You
me.
could be
show us this
nervous
already.
at
Well,
all.
yeah, it was on stream, but for anyone that wasn't there at the time, so this is the encounter in improved initiative. It may be a little hard to read, but
Because
basically
the letters are green
Oh, hang on, it's keyed. One moment.
or numbers. It's okay.
There we go. So, this is what you would have had to fight. 8 Blow Rayfill with 112 health. A couple of the big boys at 200. You would have had Talik on your side, presumably, with 264. It was a whole lot. There was a caster in there. It was a lot. That would have been a fuck of a fight, and it would have been real tight quarters, and you were surrounded. But you guys nailed it. You guys nailed it. It could have gone either way.
I, like Marcus, was cool as a cucumber and knew we would do it.
Oh, you're sweet and
yeah, Cedric was not stressed at all. Like not at all.
that I believe.
It was just chill.
Yeah.
Yo, I got a 20 charisma and my persuasion is like plus 11 or some shit like that. Like, I'd have to roll really bad to not just be like, but look how hot I am.
I was definitely sweating bullets. I could, my God. I had to keep putting it out of my head all day that we were recording that night because I was like, oh my God. Okay, so just keep in mind that we need to focus on the true enemy here. We're not each other's enemies. We need to focus on Minnie. We gotta convince him that Minnie is the enemy. Like,
that was basically the key,
crazy.
Was giving them a single enemy, like a shared enemy, and convincing him that you don't want to kill him. And true regret also, as far as attacking Olfheim.
Yeah,
Well,
I definitely...
we took that info. We got back to the Svate. We found the got permissions to use the tunnels.
Indeed,
and we fastened. We made more
Cedric swords.
Yeah,
Cedric swords.
Yes.
with a sick new sword.
And his character art is done.
Oh,
Yes.
sick!
Oh, nice! Just in time for him to
Shit,
change
will
it.
that be? Yeah.
See it.
Then we made our way
Josh.
to the tunnels. And now Comcast is gonna fuck up.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yep.
Oh, there you are.
Hang on. Stand by.
Jinxed it.
Stand by.
Oh no!
Stand by.
I can
Oh,
see
right
y'all.
there.
You're good
That's fine.
here.
Cedric
And
slut
we're
jinxed it.
back. We appear to be back.
All right. We left the Svate's hideout. We went to go find the tunnels. We found the entrance in, and then with some nature checks from Cedric, we found
Baller.
the hidden hallway, which led into the dungeon entrance, where the original entrance was collapsed. And that had come to find out, this tunnel that we were in was dug out from the inside. And that is where we left the episode.
Those nature checks came from my archetype in Rogue, my scout archetype.
Nice.
Nice. I like that. Pretty sick. And your book.
I am so fucking pumped for what this dungeon is going to bring. I have no
Me
idea what it
too.
is, but I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got the final boss sword. I'm ready to fucking lay all of my fucking hit points on
So
someone.
Final boss
you
swords.
guys are going. This is the culmination of the mini campaign. MINNI. This is the final battle of this arc. This is going to be rough. I will tell you that. Prep thy anuses, because it is going to be a little bit cray. This is the boss. This is the big bad boss battle.
I mean, I had the same reaction to that. Anuses? What?
Anuses.
Anuses.
Butts.
We got down into the tunnels just enough time for me to go, crap, I have what is
Guidance?
it? The the
Viv, stay
I
on my
have
notes.
a it's not the artificer infusions.
Talking about the rocks that shed light?
It's the rocks that shed light, but it's
Yeah.
the rocks. It's the thing that I can hand to someone else and give them.
The spell store item. Or just...
No, like how I can use rocks to make light and...
tinkering.
Yeah, it's a
something that
tinkering
takes
ability.
8 hours.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you talking
Yeah.
about
I think you're
attunements?
imagining it. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Transmuter stone.
Oh, transmuter stone.
You can spend 8 hours crafting a transmuter stone. You or another creature gains the benefit of your choice when you create it, as long as the stone is in the creature's possessions.
Yeah.
Forgot
Dark
about wizard
vision
shit.
out to 60 feet, and increase the speed at 10 feet while the creature is unencumbered. Proficiency in con saving throws. Resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage.
Sadly.
Or each time you cast transmutation spell on the first or higher level, you can change the effect of your stone. So the idea thought was, man, I could have done this, set it to lightning damage, resistance to lightning damage, and gave it to whoever I thought was the most vulnerable to take that, since most of the mini creatures we'd come across were giving out electrical lightning damage.
Sadly, we didn't have 8 hours
Yeah.
to imbue the stone.
And I doubt we have, and I don't think we have 8 hours sitting here at the end.
I mean,
Nope,
you can,
she
if you
is
want, I
ready.
guess.
She is ready.
So again, I'll reiterate that every dungeon has released secrets, or has secrets to release. Every dungeon has a guest video. Con, how's it going? Yes, we're still here. And this one's awesome. I just finished this video. And the secrets in this dungeon are bigger than the ones in Smedeheim. You guys did have the option of coming here before. Like, each dungeon had a different set of secrets to reveal. I will say that this one is bigger than the last one, in my opinion.
Yay!
Nice.
I'm terrified of what that can mean.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for the end of the culmination of the mini campaign, and I'm even more excited for what's after that. It's gonna be crazy.
Absolutely. Well, with that, guys, that is the end of our long rest for this episode. We will try to get another one in at around 10 episodes later. Hopefully that's not 9 months after the fact.
Hopefully.
The last episode of long rest we had was Thanksgiving-ish time,
We're gonna start scheduling these folks.
something like that.
It was before you joined. I mean,
Yeah, it was before I joined.
So
I don't
that
know. It
was
was around
like
the holidays.
February.
I can't remember.
it was
Yeah.
like Thanksgiving or December, yeah. Yeah. We're gonna start scheduling these folks, try to get them at most within 10 episodes. Sorry, this is
Yeah, I know December 1st we had a question. The first question submitted for Long Rest episode 4 was on December 1st.
Yeah,
8 months ago,
goes around that time.
Sheesh.
God damn.
Gosh.
was our third long
Yeah, guys.
rest.
Woo!
Jesus. We did it!
Thanks, Con.
We did it. I'm glad you guys could join us for at least the long rest portion of our streamiversary, our streamathon. I think we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll figure out what we're doing next year.
Yeah.
But